This little Honda Click is our daily 7-Eleven commuter, and she purrs like a kitten. But just a few months ago, it was left for dead, rotting under a tree and deemed as totally unfixable. The symptoms for the old scoot, the old Honda. Electric starter would no longer turn the bike over. Got harder and harder. When he tried to kickstart it, still wouldn't start. Sometimes it would, sometimes it wouldn't. Had some noises as she was getting close to its terminal. I've had enough, I'm gonna die now. To make matters worse, when it would run, it had a sticking throttle, where that was the initial issues and complaint. The discovery, what do we find in it? Well, we found low compression.
No compression, 25 psi.
Seized big end.
The crank is seized.
The piston wouldn't fall under its own weight.
Conrod is seized.
Leaky valves. If the head was stuffed, I'd get another one. If the head wasn't stuffed, then I would lap the valves and see whether we could get it to work well.
Soap test number 2. Look at that. Yeehaw, Grandma.
Bent throttle.
This is the throttle body, and I was wondering why it was sticking, and I noticed that it didn't look real straight. This is the throttle. Your throttle cable goes onto here from your throttle. The butterfly goes in here, and this opens and closes inside here. So I reckon they've dropped the engine onto this, gone whoops, but not fixed it, and just left it at that. So pretty dodgy, but you get that.
Previous piston detonation. Oh, yeah.
In the oil filter screen, these little items came out. If you have a look at this and the shaping of the webbing inside, it looks very much like the inside of the piston. And this little item suspiciously looks like an oil expander ring.
So, somebody'd been in there before, done a repair. They repair only what the problem was. And they do it quick, and they do it cheap. I would say the previous piston detonation, the explosion and the shrapnel that was left inside the block was a clear indication that they probably just took the tapper cover off, took the head off, took the barrel off, replaced the piston if there was anything left at all, and went about completing the repair, whacking it all back together, and away she went. But with the seized big end, there's normally a reason why. Oy, well done. There's a reason why did it seize. And as you can see here, clearly,
Obviously, oil changes were either non-existent or few and far between.
lack of oil maintenance, because this is what happens.
This has got a lot of knurling and grit, and you can see all the gnarly steel.
Just riding through downtown Surat Thani here, having a chat to you lovely people. When that bearing slowly decided to die, putting metal through the oil, if there's oil in there, and that's going to circulate through the rest of the engine. Do it once, do it right. But if they don't do the repair and subsequent other issues that are there, you're going to have to go back there and do it later, and it's going to be more bloody expensive. I'll let you know the total cost of this lovely resurrection later on in the video. Thailand runs on the scooter. The scooter is the backbone of Thailand. It's a family caravan. 5 people on that bike. It's normal. It's a truck. Body cab. It's the transport to end all transports. Cheap. Zero maintenance. The parts mainly from Shopee. I'll put links down below of all the parts I use for this bike. They're affiliate links, and they give me a little bit of commission, but costs you nothing. So that would be nice if you could help me out on that one. There are also shops here, and Baulo, or Baulo I think it's pronounced, is organised chaos. It's a shop that just runs to efficiency, but looks like it's just mayhem. It's bedlam. and they've got rows and rows and rows of parts. They've got a machining shop. Anything that breaks, they'll machine it, they'll fix it for cheap. In the instance of the crankshaft, I had it on me and I went there to get a part that I couldn't get from Shopee, or I could, but it was going to be delayed. And so I went in there with my crank and I showed them it. But anyway, old mate there said, oh no, I can fix that. Put new bearing in, no problem. 10 minutes later, new pin into the crank with the big end conrod attached and a new bearing on the conrod big end. And one side of the crank has a pressed on bearing. They put that on for me, gave it a quick clean. Here you go, mate, on your way. I was going to hone the piston, the cylinder myself, because the piston was okay, even though there was shrapnel all through the motor from the previous one. So I was going to just hone the cylinder up myself, put a new set of rings on it, or at least check the rings that were there. Because of the low compression, you know, while I was in there, why not put a new set of rings in? 99% of it, you'll get all your stuff from Shopee. Beep, beep, beep on the keyboard, basket, add the basket, pay. 3 days later for me in southern Thailand, coming from Bangkok, they're on my front door, ready to go. Yeehaw, grandma. Looked online and found this kit. Cylinder, piston, rings, piston pin, circlips, cylinder to block gasket, cylinder to head gasket. Cheap as chips. So of course I ordered that and got that on the way back to me. Full gasket kit, Shopee. Bearings. If you got an issue of a seized big end and it's because of poor oil maintenance, you are guaranteed every bearing inside that engine is going to be affected, because it's either going to be cactus, worn, or an issue. So a full bearing kit, Shopee to the rescue. Yeehaw. Oh, I'm slow off the lights here. Oi. Come on, buddy. So all from Shopee. So easy. The support for scooters here is incredible. Big bikes, it's a little bit more difficult. You've got to really have a good look and do your research for big bikes. But we're talking about scooters. Talked about the valve body, didn't I? My suspicion was that it was dropped. Bet the valve body, input shaft. I was going to straighten it, but again, bip, 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 Shopee, bing. Got a complete throttle body for next to nothing.
Righto, so here we are, pretty much all cleaned up, ready to go. These are our new parts. We got batteries, we got cam chain guides, we've got cam chain tensioner, we've got drive rollers, drive clutch, centrifugal clutch, tensioner there, bearings, and seals.
When I was pulling the bike apart, I noticed that there is an earth group, mainly for accessories, but there's a whole bunch of green wires and a thicker black wire that bolts to the chassis, and it actually bolts onto the floor support. And it was rusted, and before too long that was going to end up breaking off and being a real drama.
I've noticed a potential problem. You'll see here, this is a major group of earths. They're all green and they're all bolted directly to the chassis. And you can also see that this one is all rusted out. There's only this tag holding it and a heap of rust coming off. Treat all this area for the rust so it doesn't continue. I'm going to move these earths across to the other side. All right, so we've cleaned up our earth. That's nice and shiny now. And we will bolt up our earth to there, and then we will coat it afterwards.
You know, you fix the motor, you spend all that time. Motor's going good, and then suddenly she's a blackout. Lights stop working, blinkers stop working, and the bike ceases to go in a forward direction. You're scratching your helmet going, I've just rebuilt this bloody thing, why is it doing that? And it's because that earth is eventually going to break off. And when it does, that's the blackout.
Our freshly built Honda Click 125i. We've got everything hooked up that we think we need. I have run this motor without a spark plug in it before any of this was put on, just to get the oil up and try and prime the system. And oil is now showing in the tappet cover coming out of the top line, so we're happy days there. There is no exhaust. As you can see, we'll turn her on, press the button, there we go.
The final cost. Bum, bum, bum. Now some of you keyboard warriors might say, oh Jace, the money you spent on that, you could have bought a running bike. Yep, could have. A running bike with zero oil maintenance, probably previous repairs with shrapnel sitting around inside the engine. Yeah, I could buy a running bike. 13,250 baht is what it cost me on this girl, and that's including wheel bearings on the front and back as well, new tyres, new headlight assembly because the old eyes were getting a bit dark and they had holes in them and they were a bit dirty. So this bike, this Click, for 13,250 baht, totally reconditioned engine, ready to go for another 10 years, new tyres, new bearings, new headlight, job done. This thing go good. Well done, Jace.